Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CEO and Market Expert Interviews. I'm your host, Lucian. Some of you know me from X, or former Twitter as Triangle Investor. Today, I have Askar Batyrbayev back in my show. I believe Askar needs no introduction, no special introduction to the people from uranium and nuclear energy space. Askar, welcome back. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Lucian. Thank you for inviting me again. It's a great pleasure to chat with you and to share whatever I have and whatever information or thoughts I have to share it with you and with your subscribers and whoever watch you.
Thank you very much. First of all, Askar, how are you? What are you up to these days?
Well, I'm quite good. Thank you, Lucian. Currently, in a very rare case, you managed to capture me at home. So I'm between some travels, and even on Monday, I'm traveling again to Singapore. So currently, I have some not very heavy one, but some light heavy travel schedule. So traveling back and forth, seeing different people, different companies, trying to make some positive impact for this industry as well.
I believe that, Askar. Let's start with the topic. I believe that everybody wants to hear the news about it, and that is PFYN. I call it PFYN, just like you. New physical uranium investing vehicle. Askar, tell me, what is new? Has the format changed or planned to be changed? What is new with PFYN?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, as long as I'm a little bit limited with unofficial information that might be coming. By the way, I could be sharing a contact of managing director who is on the management or on the operational management side of the company. I'll share his contacts email. So whoever is interested, they could be actually sending him separate private emails, and he would definitely respond or share something. But other than that, with what I'm allowed to say, maybe I'll hint a little bit more than we discussed with you previously. There are no changes in plans. The fund is going to be presented or is going to work very soon. Everyone's expectation is it will be just uranium holding fund, but actually it's not only that. So there will be a possibility to invest in all parts of the nuclear fuel cycle. If there will be someone who is interested to invest in mining, that's also something that fund could be doing. So there will be different compartments within the fund that will allow or attract different investors. And again, if someone is interested in conversion, enrichment, I don't know, nuclear technologies, I mean, these are all things that will be established. But I guess the better understanding or more information could be disclosed by the management team, and I'm more on the advisory board side with them. Other than that, we are expecting to have a sort of small disclosure that will be done most probably in the form of interview to one of the I don't say newspapers, but publishers, which are very known to the industry. So one of the big three. So everyone should be expecting that in the beginning of second quarter, there will be an interview made by managing director Patrick France. So he will be doing this interview. Actually, Patrick France is two first letters of PF.
Oh,
yeah. So that's something which is coming. So there will be that disclosure. And then he might say what are the developments of the fund, where we are now, what would be available. But mostly there will be no IPO. It will not be that public, or there will be no, I guess, that much of information as done by Sprott or Yellowcake. This will be mostly private one, focusing on private investors and investments. And as long as if private investors would like to keep it quiet, it will be quiet. So we shouldn't be expecting that there will be a lot of disclosures or something, but mostly there will be a assigned person who will do all the communication on behalf of the fund. So from time to time there will be some information on on the operation of the fund and on a different like investment activity which the fund would be doing. And actually, it will be quite interesting. It will be slightly different from the funds that we're seeing now on the market. There will be less exposure to, let's say, capital markets. So like as long as we are expecting there will be no correlation or not correlation, but there will be no like issue with premium or discount to NAV. So mostly like NAV would be directly connected to the uranium price. That's what is being expected now.
Okay, so fundamentally nothing changed from the idea till today, right?
No.
Okay, got it.
And I guess like maybe ideas are even getting bigger from what we're seeing from the developments on the market. So like there might be some very interesting things that the fund could be offering to investors. So it's not just buying and holding uranium. It could be some other opportunities as well.
Okay. Askar, we have a lot of topics to discuss. I don't know where to start. When we have Cameco, Kazatomprom Kazakhstan, spot term market, RFPs, sulfuric acid, I don't know what else. Okay, but let's start with uranium market. With the spot market activity, maybe? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? How is the market? In what shape is the market right now?
Like current market, I guess it's very quiet. I mean, I'm not hearing a lot of deals at the moment. And if some deals are happening, most probably they're happening very quietly without reporting to like Numerical or TradeTech US, UXC. So mostly like the market is very quiet. I think everyone is just waiting for the future development. There are not many active bids on the market. So it looks a little bit depressed. So I guess many expectations were not met. So like I think people now are just waiting, holding the material and looking how the developments will happen. If they will see some active parties coming to buy, and then we might probably see some shift of the price. But generally, currently, it's very, very active, and you have seen all the fluctuations on the market which happened. Like one news is coming, the price is going up to 106. In 3 days, it's going back, and then it's like dropping. After another news, it's dropping to 98 almost, and in a couple of days, it's coming back. So mostly, I guess there is a little bit of speculation maybe there. Some of the people who entered the positions and expected something better just tried to liquidate these positions. So mostly, I guess there's like panic and distressed volatility, but generally, I guess there were not much things done on the spot market. So and again, like now we have a Chinese New Year, so some of the parties are actually inactive from the spot market. So I guess like most probably we will hear more closer to WNFC conference, which will be held in Almaty.
Yeah. Askar, what about term market? What kind of contracts are you seeing being signed recently? What is the activity over there? What are you hearing and seeing on the term market specifically?
Like for term market, I mean, I cannot basically touch part of the 2023 because I was involved with my former company. But like as was reported, the term market for 2023 was around 160 million, which I guess more or less is quite correct figure. And again, like the very, very big deals are coming on the sidelines, and you never see the actual figure which is disclosed. Like the deals between Kazatomprom and China, like they are disclosed to be like they are going over the threshold of 50%. But like there is no other disclosure how much, what is the price, what are the quantities, what are the flexibilities, like no one knows. But like many people are guessing that they're quite big ones, and I guess they should be because China has a very big program which they have to like accommodate with a certain levels of inventory and natural uranium, because all the other part of nuclear fuel cycle they have inside of their country. So like term market is being active. Most of the utilities are there, as far as I'm hearing. The quantities are not that big for the middle-sized utilities. Like the bigger utilities tend to try to contract the bigger volumes. But with the current volatility of spot price, I guess there is a little bit of withholding of utilities, and they're starting to consider like periods, not maybe these ones like 24, 25, 26, but maybe 27, when most of them believe like the price actually is going to return to some two-digit figures, I guess. So that's where they might be comfortable to sign like even market-related contracts, but with some ceiling. But currently, there are utilities looking. Some of the actual utilities are starting to look for the very long contracts. Couple RFPs I've seen we're going to 2040, 2041 even, like they're that long, which means that some of the utilities are really looking to like actually lock in all these supply, not having any concerns for the future, and like maybe desperately looking after 2030. Yeah, but the general contracting period is starting from 2026 and going to 2034. Like utilities are active, they're looking for the material in a different forms. Like it's not only U3O8, some of the utilities are coming even with UO2 inquiries. Some of them are in UF6. So the market is active, but as long as this is the start of the year, there's not much the activity as we have seen last year. But I guess like it will be picking up the further we go in this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned RFPs. Did I hear it right? In 2041, one RFP
up to, yeah. So some of the some of them is like starting in like 26, 27, and like they are looking for more than 10-year period already, like ending up in 2041 or 42. So which I guess is maybe estimated or current licensing period of these utilities.
Okay, but Askar, do you have any quantity? Do you have some numbers of RFPs in 2024, or which are?
I think they are not. They are not that big. The ones that were going to 41 and 42, they were like looking from 200, 300,000 pounds, but actually they are asking for like some sort of the big flexibility there. So which could give them the flexibility to go to up to 500,000 pounds. So the volumes are not that big. Actually, the fact that the utilities are looking into that much bigger period already shows that they're really concerned about security of supply.
Definitely. One other factor we have that is Kazatomprom production cuts for 2024. I want to hear your opinion about that and the potential impact on the uranium market from these results.
Yeah, I think this is one of the hot topics, which is being discussed everywhere. Like from what I can really like say or comment, there was a conference of NEI in Charlotte, so I was a speaker there. So I highlighted some of the challenges, which actually, unfortunately, to my former colleagues, they've experienced, and as they reported, they are not able to secure some of the volumes of sulfuric acid. And again, like as I was telling there is a high competition for sulfuric acid. It was like back in October, and now we are getting the like official information from the company that like fertilizers market are much more hot or much more interesting for sulfuric acid producers than selling it to Kazatomprom. So we're seeing some drop in their guidance, and actually like we have to closely watch what would be happening, how they will be doing. I mean, definitely it's a challenging times. We will have to watch, like every quarter they will be reporting like on a trading update, and we will be seeing the progress that they're doing. So like quarter to quarter, it will be more clear or not if they managed to secure the sulfuric acid or they were not. So that's something we should be closely looking. But other than that, I mean, we're even seeing that their sales is much higher than their production as well. So of course they have an inventory, they have everything, but like this could be a very challenging. But in the end, like the company is too big to fail. So everyone knows they're the world leaders. So in the end, like my my guess is like they will be in a big challenge, in a big worrying about like whether they will be or not, because it's not only just sulfuric acid. They also have to do a lot of geological works. They have to drill the wells. They have to prepare all the well fields. They have to secure all the production materials like pipes and all other things, just to make sure that they can do the production of this year, 25, and can do the basement for 2026 as well, where everyone is expecting them to come to like 100% of their production. So this is very critical. So they will definitely have to increase their capexes or like operational expenses that they will need to develop the mine fields. Of course, security of sulfuric acid is also something, but at the same time, like current levels of sales are actually also very, very challenging, and we are not even considering the fact that like Yellowcake has $100 million option with Kazatomprom in case they will exercise it when they will have like premium to NAV. This will put additional burden on Kazatomprom, and this will be some kind of additional challenge that might be impacting their normal activity.
Yeah. Askar, what about Kazakhstan government resigning? Your comment. I mean, tell me more about the current political situation and how that address stability.
Yeah, like I mean, there is a lot of noise about the government changes or any other things, but like generally there was a change of prime minister, which was, I mean, there was rumors that might happen a long time ago, like so it happened. Like there was an unofficial explanation, and I don't want to actually get into the discussion like whether it is good or not, like
Sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to speculate there, like it's not my like level of expertise there, but like I don't see the big connection between change of the government and operation of Kazatomprom, because there was no other changes. Even like the ministry which oversees Kazatomprom, the ministry is still there. So like I don't see the big link between this. Like prime minister is changed because the country is taking a different course, and there were 3 ministers changed, which are also long expected changes. Other than that, I don't see how it will be impacting Kazatomprom, and Kazatomprom is still public company, which is guided by the different rules. So it's not like there will be some changes from the government which will be directly impacting Kazatomprom. So if there will be any changes in Kazatomprom, that will be definitely not linked to that changes in the government. So there's like a different story which can be there. But again, this will be the part which I think should be directly addressed to Kazatomprom. And I'm sure that when they will be doing their financial results for 2023, somewhere like in the middle of March, most of these questions will come to them, and they would be definitely answering and reporting on this. But as of now, I mean, they have a very, very capable CEO who joined Kazatomprom very recently. So like, I don't think there is any expectation of changes in Kazatomprom, because they just combined as a company. They now have a full, let's say, number of the board seats, management board seats. So I guess with the current CEO, he knows the company very well. He's been a CFO of the company when the company was going public, so he knows the rules. He knows how to operate the company. He knows how to manage finance of the company. So I'm not like expecting any dramatical things or changes. But even if something happens, I mean, he's more than capable to explain to all the like stakeholders what are the decisions and why it's happened. So I mean, I wouldn't like to speculate on the government relation or so on, but like in my opinion, there is no direct correlation, or we shouldn't be expecting something after the changes of the government.
Okay, just another question about the sulfuric acid. Do you see that becoming a global problem?
I mean, in the region of Central Asia, I guess that's a global problem, because like fertilizing market is very hot, not only for Kazakhstan, but also for Uzbekistan and for Russia. And Uzbekistan has already banned all the exports of sulfuric acid, so they are using only for internal uses. Novaya Uran is getting the volumes of sulfuric acid they need to have, definitely, and the rest is actually being used for their domestic needs. So they are not exporting anything, and they have no volumes to be sold like outside, for example, for Kazatomprom. Like as Kazatomprom officials were saying, they were buying some volumes from Russia, and like in Russia, it's the same thing. Like they also need sulfuric acid for the internal uses, and there is a factor of transportation which is quite long from Russia to Kazakhstan, which is impacting the price of sulfuric acid. So at the end, like you have to consider if it is really economically beneficial for you to bring it from Russia, or like really try to secure it inside the country, because you have like several parties which are producing sulfuric acid as a byproduct. But this will be a tough market. So like this is, as I said, in Charlotte, there will be a big competition for sulfuric acid by the different companies in Kazakhstan. So like Kazatomprom will have a lot of competition. So that's kind of the main challenge for this year, maybe for next year.
Yeah, tough time requires tough measures. Do you see a scenario where Kazatomprom maybe considers uranium projects outside of Kazakhstan? I know that is maybe would be a big surprise, but is that an option?
I mean, I wouldn't exclude them completely, but like as long as all the best assets sits in Kazakhstan, and Kazatomprom knows it, like it will be very hard for them to actually convince their board, including minority shareholders, like to invest into the projects that are higher in terms of cost out of the Kazakhstan. I mean, this is something which is like, I guess would be as a challenge if they will consider any projects. But I mean, in the current price environment, I mean, I wouldn't exclude that possibility. That, like, if Kazatomprom will find any good project, that they can actually go for it. But now again, like with the current prices, I mean, I know that there is already many parties who are looking to invest into the projects, and we're seeing many juniors who are actually already making an announcement that they're starting production or starting geological works, or they're going to actually do some like research and investigation for their production cost, and like whether they could be starting some production. So we're hearing a lot of these announcements from juniors. So I think like now they have much more comfort in terms of that they can attract necessary finance or investments from someone to actually start the production. So most of the projects are actually being advanced very significantly.
Askar, I want to talk about above ground inventory. I know that there is not a exact number of inventory out there. Of course, there is not. But are you guys discussing it with each other I mean, all the people involved in uranium business, etc. What are the some current estimates of above ground inventory in the world, or in the Western world, Eastern world? Never mind. Is there any data over here?
Well, I mean, the companies like Sprott and Yellowcake, they publish how much they're sitting on. Like, I think Sprott is more than 60 million. Like where YCP is around like maybe a little bit more than 20 million. URC is holding something like 1.8, 1.7 million pounds. We know that Anno Energy is sitting on some material that they bought as a first stage. Zuri Invest also told that like they bought, or they started the fund, which we actually don't really know how much they bought.
Yeah.
And no one actually knows. Like there are different rumors that they are keeping the volume from 50 to 100 million USD, and I don't know actually what it means in terms of like pounds, because it depends on what was the price when they were purchasing the material.
Yeah,
other than that, there are some hedge funds that weren't very active, and they were doing it very quietly. So some big hedge funds actually have the stocks of the material, of physical material. So like some of the hedge funds, I think, are quite big ones. So they have like from 5 to 10 million pounds on their accounts. But again, I don't think that there's a lot of these hedge funds. Because
no, that's my point, Askar. I saw a British reporter wrote that there were 48 accounts at Converdin with above ground inventory that were not traders or utility fuel buyers, the ones you mentioned, Zuri, Spot, Yellowcake, etc. So how much material do we have in that part of the market? Rough estimate, of course.
I mean, if you remove like the big players like Sprott, Yellowcake, and Zuri, and others, I mean, with hedge funds, with I don't know, maybe small family offices.
Yeah.
I don't know how they open the accounts, actually, frankly speaking. I mean, it's not very easy to open an account with the conversion facility as well, because you have to pass some sort of the compliance. And I don't think that Converdyn will be giving an accounts to everyone. Yeah. So, like, hearing that is more than 40 accounts, I mean, surprises me very much.
Yeah, but, that's not confirmed. That's what I heard. Maybe it's wrong data, but
yeah, like in my experience, I guess it should be a little bit overestimated. So, like, even the big hedge funds who were like a little bit more active in the transition period from 2017 to 20 and 21, they might be like, from what I heard, they might be holding like 10 or a little bit more than 10 million pounds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good number.
It is.
Yeah, definitely. What about Japanese utilities and market? We probably know that they have gone from sellers to buyers, but we have heard that there is still one that is selling, or at least did in 2023. Are they all done, or are you hearing the same thing? There are still some sellers.
Like, I mean, these utilities that will have some reactors that will be coming back online, they are definitely keeping the inventory, or they have loaned some of the inventory and will get it back at the time they will they will need it. But there are utilities or like owners of the reactors in Japan, which will not have any single reactor to be returned. So they are like, obviously they will be selling some of the quantities, like either directly or using some of the like big trading houses in Japan, like Sumitomo, Marubeni, Itochu, whoever it is, like they might be selling through these agents. We have seen some of the sales like that happened in natural uranium in UF6. So some of them were selling just conversion. But for Japanese utilities, like there is already some signals on the market that the most advanced ones that will have more reactors to, like they already have some certain number of reactors in operation, and they already started to burn all this inventory. They're actually starting to touch the market and starting discussions with the market participants to see what kind of volumes they could be buying starting from 27, 28 and onwards. And just to remind, like Japanese companies have three joint ventures in Kazatomprom. So there's three companies, like one is with Sumitomo and Kansai, and another two joint ventures are actually some consortium where Marubeni is involved. So like they have like the means of approaching the market, but at the same time, they already have an established tools to buy from actually Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Another point of interest is military interest. I mean, regarding uranium, I hear from defense. I hear that some defense contractors with special access to both the Chinese and Russian and Americans and even Iran are all want to increase inventories again. Is that really the case? Do you have any information about that? And some quantities and timeframes?
I mean, listen, I don't want to speculate on the military part as well. But like, if someone wants uranium for military purpose, they will not come to the market to buy it. Trust me.
Exactly.
Like whatever you buy on the market, you're buying at the Western converters. So if the material is already sitting at Western converters, this is going to be used for peaceful use, for nuclear power plants, and it cannot be actually exported back from the conversion plants that it's sitting. So if any country is trying to use it for military, I mean, they would definitely mine something locally in their country, and you will never hear about any volumes, how much they mine, and like there will be no disclosures. Everyone will try to keep it very, very quiet. So like, if there's happening something, we will never know about this. Trust me. I mean, especially when it's coming to military.
No, agreed.
And there is a lot of secondary sources, like which they could be using also to transfer to some military use, like I don't know, spent fuel, some other stocks. We will never hear about this on the open market. Trust me.
Definitely. What about under to overfeeding? Can you give me some? Can you give us an update about that and some timeframes also?
Like underfeeding is done, that's for sure. That's been reported everywhere. I'm not sure if the overfeeding is being done, but again, if enrichers will have incentivizing price that will put them in the position that they will have to do this, I think that they will do this. But at the same time, they will be most probably using the incentivizing price to increase their capacities, like to install more, to invest there. So I'm hearing that there are some discussions about overfeeding. I wouldn't be speculating there if there is or not, but like the market is clearly saying and signaling that like the era of underfeeding is definitely done, but for overfeeding, we're actually going to that phase very, very quickly. But like, I'm not sure if we're there or not yet. But definitely, like enrichers have much more work and much more requests and much more demand. So like the issue is if they have an incentivizing price to switch for overfeeding or not.
Askar, are you following uranium equities performance?
A little bit, like because that's not my central part of my expertise. Of course, I'm following. I'm looking at like changes of the price, of correlation with the spot price, how it is done, and like yeah, like from time to time, I'm following.
What's your comment on the performance of uranium stocks?
Well, I mean, I think most of the stocks performed very well. I mean, even last year, when the price was picking up, like, of course, there is a lack of the time lag when the price is going up. And then if it stays there, then we're seeing that like most of the stocks are going further and further, catching up the price. So most of them, I think the vast majority did very, very well. And I know that in Twitter, there is a lot of like experts. I would say that they're like offering some portfolio of these stocks and so on and so on. So I guess that they did some homework, checked like the companies, checked their abilities, how far they are in geology, production, and everything, and that's how they do that pick. Like, but I didn't check that part as well. But as long as we see the price is already as a triple digit, like I think now to do some investments, you have to do your own homework, not just like go and trust whatever like someone is saying, but you should definitely do your own homework. You should check every company. You should see who is ruling the company, if the company is credible, if it's public, what are the financial reports, if they have any like production or geological reports. So these are the things that everyone should do before like doing an investment in the current environment. Because like now again the price is triple digit, and like the moves that we have seen last year in terms of price is not expected. I mean, I think if the price will go too up, there will be much more people that will be willing to sell. I mean, every step will trigger another seller, which would be happy to sell some material that he's sitting on. And this might be true for even these hedge funds that will see like, that's enough for us. We've done our like profits.
Yeah,
we're ready to sell. And like in their business model, I mean, they will be definitely not selling small portions. They'll unwind a significant position, which will again put the price down. So I guess in these parts, like when the price could be going up and down, I mean, that will be definitely impacting the uranium stocks. So now I think there should be a very careful management on that part.
Yeah.
But again, that's my personal view.
No, you're right about that. Askar, are you following the situation closely in Niger?
Like, I'm reading most of the information. I'm discussing with some of my friends about this. Like, I think situation is not getting better yet. It's still like unsolved. There is a lot of rumors what's happening and going on there. Like, I don't want to spread most of the rumors, but like from what I know, the Niger production is not going well. They don't have some critical chemicals that they need. So like, I think they might be underperforming if they don't get these chemicals which they need for processing of ore and like for their production process. So if they don't get these critical ones, I mean, it would be very, very hard for them to actually do the same production numbers as they did maybe in 2022, because I'm not sure what was the production numbers for 23, but I guess it was lower than it was expected. So maybe 2024 will be also kind of very challenging for them, because as far as I heard, the situation with chemicals and with the transportation, with logistical, let's say, challenges were not resolved.
Yeah. What about Namibia?
I mean, for Namibia, I think the picture is vice versa. There is more and more developments on that side. We're hearing more and more companies announcing like they are going to produce, and we're seeing them very active. If before we heard about only like Chinese companies developing there, Husab and Rosing, now we're hearing like Langer Heinrich, Itango, so other producers are also like going there. I think DPL was there announcing that they will be doing. I think even Rosatom is there somewhere. I'm not sure how well they are doing with their production, in case they are doing anything at all. But like there are many companies involved, so it kind of reminds me maybe Kazakhstan, who is also a very good home for all different type of producers and providing the good, let's say, infrastructure. So I guess Namibia is doing better, and they have an access to the sea. So these are the biggest advantages that they have. And like, if nothing happens, I mean, I don't see that they would be having any constraints, but like maybe vice versa. There might be more and more developments in terms of supply.
Yeah, definitely agreed. What about Australia? How do you see that Australia has 1/3 of uranium resources in the world? Do you believe that they should step in and really develop those resources and try to bring more uranium above the ground? What's your take on that?
They have the resources, but most of them at the place where the native part of the country lives. So it's always a challenge, which you have to overcome. Like, I mean, Cameco have a very similar thing, but they done a lot of work to discuss with a like native part of the country. They are like hiring them for the work. They are supporting them. There is a lot of social activity there. So I think there's a lot of things that should be done in Australia as well. But they are also very limited with the current legislation that they have. So there should be something happening there. I mean, either they will have to adopt big decarbonization program where the like nuclear power would be included. Then that will be the kick-off for them to develop their assets that they have internally. And again, like maybe the price of the uranium would be that high that at some point of time Australia will consider, okay, let's start to develop something. There are some mines already being developed there. Like the companies are operating. The production is actually expected, I think, from this year already, from Honeymoon. But other than that, I mean, Australia is quite challenging in terms of legislation. So this is where like politics is being more stronger than like commercial interest in it. And as long as like uranium is not that huge market as, let's say, iron ore, copper, or anything else, or any other commodities, as long as it doesn't have a huge turnover of money, I mean, and very big concerns about like radiophobia or all other things. So maybe that's why like the government is not trying to change it, because there's a lot of like the concerns about radiation and so on, and the market is not that big and attractive. So we'll have to see and wait. Like that's something which has to be done most probably internally in Australia. So all the miners who are doing the work in Australia, they should be doing a lot of discussion with the government, trying to change the legislation. That could be the first step to move forward.
Two more questions, Askar, then I will let you go. We forgot to comment more on the Cameco results. What's your take on their results? That's a pretty that's a new news on the market. Please comment.
Yeah, don't want to speculate a lot. There was a lot of noise on the market, in the Twitter. I don't know what to say. What was there? Like, and again, like expectation of many people is their expectation. I mean, you should do your own homework. You should go and see whatever was done by the company, whatever the company was guiding throughout the year. So, like, I think Cameco was one of the first companies last year who came and said like, okay, we are not reaching out like our guidances and we are going to change. And they did it in the beginning of the year when they have they just seen some of the like challenges that they have. I mean, I'm pretty sure that challenges are not gone. There's still a lot of challenges for Cameco in terms of people, like equipment, many other things that they will have to do in production. But they, like, as Tim said, they've already lived a whole year with all these challenges and they know what they're doing. So, like, they didn't say that they are going to produce 25 million pounds. They're still targeting 18 and 18 for both mines. So we will just have to see if Cameco can deliver there. But other than that, I think like they know what they are doing. They've already spent 1 year with all the challenges. They had a lot of time to hire people. They had time to see what they can do in terms of procuring the materials and all other parts. So they are a public company. In the end of the day, like if they will fail, they will be highly criticized. And I don't think this is in the best interests of like the management of the company. So if they said that they are confident that they could be delivering, I think that they will deliver because even the luck is not that big. Like the speculation in the market is around 3 million pounds, which is not that big number. I mean, and even like I mean, I don't know. Like,
okay, that's
from what was done by Cameco in the previous years. I mean, if they foresee a problem, they usually tell it in advance. So like the expectation that they will do it this time was not the case for most of the people.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why there is a lot of discussions on the market. But like again, same thing with Kazatomprom. We will have to see every trading update that they'll be doing quarterly, and we will be seeing how well they're operating. And I'm sure that like Cameco will be communicating whatever would be happening with their production process like every time. And like last year, they came up, I think, in the end of first quarter. So they will have financial results very soon. Like again, somewhere in the end of March. They'll be having a conference call and we'll hear whatever they say. And like there will be a lot of questions to them to explain and to tell what are the let's say developments in terms of their production. So I think we'll be hearing constant announcements from Cameco to understand what's happening with their production.
Okay. Final question. You already touched on that a little bit prior in the interview. I mean, transportation routes, the Transcaspian route, we are seeing increased risk with uranium transportation there. I mean, what's your comment on that? How do you think that will be resolved?
I mean, again, there's a lot of speculations. There are some delays. I mean, I don't want to comment on Cameco's comments why they're experiencing a delays there. There are some delays, but Cameco is receiving the product from Inkai by the Transcaspian route. It's working. They're like getting the material. At the same time, like Kazatomprom reported that they had vast majority of their Western deliveries done by Transcaspian route, successfully done by Transcaspian route.
Yeah.
So this has already been disclosed, and I mean Transcaspian route is becoming like, if you see in terms of figures and what was reported officially by Kazatomprom, you are seeing that they are actually increasing the involvement of Transcaspian route in comparison with the Russian route, which shows that it's the route is working. There is as long as the route is a fresh one. I mean, it has been established in 2018. I mean, this route is only like 6 years.
new.
There will be constraints in the beginning, like but the more and more transportations would be done, the more and more it will be common for the people who are actually within the route. And all the processes there would be definitely easier as the time goes. Because like now Transcaspian route for all the Central Asian region is a very important one, and there is a lot of cargos, other cargos, which are actually going through that route. So there is a lot of investment to actually increase the capacity of the route from both like Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. So all these investments are done. The route is expected to be a vital one. And I guess all the processes at some point of time would become easier and easier. And like, trust me, there will be other, like, I would say, hazardous materials that will be coming to this route and being transported. So at some point of time, it will not be just Kazatomprom bringing a class 7 cargo. Maybe there will be other like hazardous or dangerous cargos moving through that route, which will make the transit processes much, much easier. So, I mean, I haven't heard from what I'm doing, I haven't heard that there are difficulties on that route. And frankly, now I'm dealing with other commodities in Kazakhstan and also helping some of my partners to move these commodities through Transcaspian route, and it's operating very well.
Okay. Askar, thank you very much. Thank you for this interview. I always enjoy talking to you, and people love to hear news from the eastern part of the world, not just western part, but you covered it all, always. Thank you very much for being my guest, and all the luck to you.
Thank you, Lucian. It was a pleasure. We'll see you very soon.